Oh, Anton, I think I can see first where your attachment and investment in this gift character analogy comes from. It certainly has poetic elegance to it, um, but also where some of these objections are coming from. Um, those objections, as far as I can tell, mostly being grounded in projection or imposition of statements onto what you're saying that you aren't actually making. Um, I've been following this thread for a little bit, and now that I'm actually have working cameras again, I've been jotting down a couple of notes as I've been watching, and I'll go ahead and share those with you. I hope they prove to be more illuminating or interesting than simply distracting. It seems to me that a center, a center of this um, is this idea of our existence, or the existence of our consciousness, as a daunting example of causal relations that are unresponsive to our consciousness, that are unresponsive to our will, that we have a general experience of our agency in our lives. Um, and some people take this much further. Some in well, say things like The Secret, or various forms of magical thinking, where one extends normal agency, normal ability to select from outcomes, influence the process through which we come to outcome, and extend it almost universally. But yeah, even those abrogations aside, we do have some awareness of ourselves as choosing beings, of thinking beings. But our agency to choose is completely exempt from that. Um, this is, to me, this seems deeply related to, and in many ways, a recharacterization of the classic existential paradox. That we as story makers enter into our ability to make stories in a story that is already in progress. So that was one point. That fact that fact that our existence as agents is not the result of our agency is part of the environment. It is more in that distinction that you made between ourselves and the world. That fact itself is part of the world. And you see how this gets very, very tangled very quickly. You did branch into animal consciousness for a moment, and honestly, to me, to my way of thinking, that is a separate question, a truly separate question. Our sentience is not relationally defined. The presence or absence of awareness in other animals really has no bearing on our own until such time as we can communicate with them about it. Until such time as it's a positive fact and we are able to communicate with them, we really don't gain much by describing the human experience as unique. It is neither unique, nor is it relational, nor is it correlative to these other proposed experiences. It is experience. It is the experience that we have. It is the experience to which we can refer. Um, and even if we, even were we to find ourselves in a position of, say, addressing sentient octopi, the problems of subject-object, subject regarding object that we recognize as subject within their own viewpoint, those problems don't change at all. The factuality of our uniqueness is to me, at least to the questions that I'm most interested in asking, is a non sequitur. The perception of it, on the other hand, the perception of ourselves as unique, is critical. That is a critical aspect that we need to integrate into this, and directly corresponds to those sorts of reclamation that you're describing. The main connection is that I see that perception of ourselves as unique as a large part of the fuel in the tank behind generational anthropocentrism. You're taking general anthropocentrism. We define the universe in human terms up to and including standards of measurement of material relations derived from the length of a king's foot, but generational anthropocentrism, that we would present ourselves, our generation, the social entanglement of concept and communication that we ourselves are participating in as the standard. That which came before us is necessarily is either stupid or angelic, is either imbecilic or transcendent, and both the imbecile and the avatar are in many ways less than human as we experience humanity, and this idea itself. This chain of ideas, our uniqueness, our specialness in our position in history, that being special to us because it's the position that we occupy, and the dismissal and enshrinement of the past that results from that. Being a large part of, again, what's driving these fashions of intellectual modernity. The irony being, and good luck getting any real traction or realization on this in debate. The irony being that those fashions and what they would seek to espouse are nothing new. So anyway, cheers.